For the shoulder soft tissue work, we're going to go through a couple of lacrosse ball variations. So the first one, starting with the pecs. Roll out the pec from here, a rack or a doorway works really well, because then from this position, I can work some shoulder raises or some rotator cuff movements to help dig that ball into the shoulder. I can also use the same ball to work into the traps. So from here on the trap, pressed into that side, right there between the neck and trap, and same thing from here, I can move, work some range of motion work while I'm rolling through the traps. Finally, for the shoulder, on the posterior side, can work here to the scap. So I'm going to pin the scap into the ball, and then same idea, I can work some movements out of this position to dig into different spots along the shoulder muscles. So we're going to start with a hamstring rollout. It's going to be off the bench because this will also give me the opportunity to put a little bit more of my body weight. I can kind of sit to the hamstring and put my whole weight on it. As I'm rolling the hamstring, I can work to the inside or to the outside of the muscle. And the other thing that the bench allows you to do is if I get to a point where I have a sore spot, I can also create some movement, kind of working this leg extension action as the roller digs into the hamstring muscles. Soft tissue work on the hip flexors is better achieved with some type of trigger point device, whether it's a So-Right, lacrosse ball, softball, even a kettlebell, so it can go deeper into the muscle group. For this one, we're going to work right here above, and then actually down here right below the bones in the pelvis. I'm going to set it up on the ground, and literally just going to lay on top, get a position right above, and relax my body weight on top of the So-Right, and I'm just letting the trigger points press deeper and deeper into the muscle while controlling my breathing. After working there more through the belly, I can readjust it, take it to a lower point on the hips, and press into it with the same strategy. For our soft tissue work to target the muscles through the groin, we're going to take a heavy object. It could be half of a barbell, half of a heavy roller, something that has some weight and pressure. I'm going to lift it up, press it into the groin, and then use the weight of the object to help roll into the groin and the hips. Now, I can also use a roller pinned across to hit that same muscle group using my own body weight and work some hip rotation out of that rollout position. As we switch to the glutes, similar to the hip flexors, we want to get through the tissue, so we need something to help work more of a trigger point. We're going to use a lacrosse ball for this one. Pin the lacrosse ball into the glute. Also helps if you cross over the top, and now I can work into the glute and the hip, pressing in with more pressure from that trigger point. For our ankle soft tissue work, we're going to start off pinning it in the back of the calf, putting the weight on it. I can also cross over to put more weight. I can work more to the outside. I can shift more to the inside and work there across. Now, at some point, I'm going to hit a spot where it's tight, there's soreness. I'm going to hold on that spot, work pedals, pulling the toe up, pushing the gas pedal down, and then I'm also going to use this position with the foot propped up to work my ankle range of motion. So kind of that ankle axial movement, I'm going to roll, slow and controlled, as big circle as I can make, and then reverse it, take it in the other direction, pointing the toe down on the way down, pulling the toe up as far as it'll go on the way up, working that full ankle range of motion. After completing work on the calf, you can use a lacrosse ball. Works really well if I have any tightness in the anterior tibialis, or that muscle that runs on the outside of the shin. I can press this into it and also work that part of the lower leg. Roll out the IT band. I'm going to lay here on my side. Work anywhere from the hip, crossing this leg over for balance, all the way down to just above the knee. And I'm working there all the way down the outside lateral part of the leg. If I get to a spot that's really sore, I'm just going to pin it and let the tension go to work. Hold it on the roller, let it go to work, try to get it to relax, and then I can keep working new and different places along the side of that hip and IT band. A lot of this, you'll feel the tension in the hip, but it can do wonders for knee pain and helping to take care of the knee joint. We also will work into the quads. So rolling here onto the quad, even down into the hip flexor. And from this position, if I get a spot where I'm at a trigger point on the quad, I can also work knee flexion. And now, by pulling back, I can dig deeper into the muscles of the quad and hit some different spots that I'm trying to target. Good, coach. I'm going to go through a upper, middle, and lower back rollout routine, starting with the upper back. We're going to take the roller, position it in the upper back, up by the shoulder blades, hug the arms across the body, and just work along the spine, letting the roller dig into the muscles of the upper back and scaps. From there, I'm going to work more into the middle T-spine. From this position, I got the roller pinned on the back, and now I'm going to work some motions where I'm arching and opening, and then rounding, using the roller as a pivot point. Stretching it back over the top, rounding, and using that pivot point. After I complete it on the middle back, I'm going to work down into the lower back. From the low back position, I'll start off by rolling it out. After rolling out, bring the knees up towards the top and kind of shift the focus from side to side or edge to edge. So now I'm working a little bit more lateral into those lower back muscles. To complete it, I'm going to reset back to the ground, bring one knee up, and work kind of a slow march, tapping the heel on the ground. Now again, creating some movement, shifting and changing the pressure into the low back. For the cat-cow exercise, I'm going to start from the all-four position, making sure that my hands are supported under the shoulder, my knees are supported underneath the hips. Here, I'm going to round out the spine, tuck the chin down to the chest, and then arch it back, tipping the head up. Very important that as I move, I control my breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, and then my head moves in alignment with my spine. I'm going to demonstrate two core mobility, even stability-based exercises. So we're going to set up for the dead bug first on the back, 90 degrees, toes up, arms are up straight. The most important part of this exercise is that the low back is flexed tight to the ground. From here, I'm going to reach, opposite arm, opposite leg, pause it, stabilize, control it, and bring it back up to the top. Same thing, reach, opposite arm, opposite leg, pause, controlled, stable, resetting, back to the start. The other exercise that pairs well with this or accomplishes similar goals is I'm working back from the all four quadruped position. Core is locked in tight, and I am now reaching opposite arm, opposite leg from this kneeling Superman position. Reset back to here, core is locked in tight. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Paused and controlled at the top. Reset back to the starting position. Going to work a core and hip alignment into our glute bridge. So I'm going to set up in the glute bridge position, but I'm going to position the roller in between the hips. Now, in this order, I'm going to work to contract the abs, fire the low back into the ground, squeeze the groin, and then bridge, lock the glutes, control it back down to the bottom, relax and reset. Core, hips, glutes, control, relax and reset. Core, hips, glutes, control, relax and reset.